Toby, what must have mixed emotions after that?
Yeah, no, for sure. I thought that, for large parts of that game, we were very, very good indeed. And, the respect that the players gave to our players and the conversations post the game, the fact that they don't go for the 4-try bonus point, they keep the ball off bits and pieces, some of their players, that was a proper game, that, people who play test match rugby regularly, or have done. So from that point of view, we've earned some respect there, but we can't be satisfied obviously with, the outcome, because we didn't win. So from that point of view, there's still plenty to do.
You've led for 62 minutes. What was the difference in that final quarter?
I think there was a couple of... I think that the previous 62 minutes pays a price. I don't think it's just as simple as, all of a sudden things change. Things do change physically. I thought that we managed to deal with the physicality really, really well. And I just think they got their tails up a little bit, and we couldn't find an answer quick enough in certain times. I think we had a couple of bits and pieces we can do, be a bit smarter. They've been doing what they've been doing for a long time, and you can see that. And that's, as I said, they're the benchmark. That's what we're aspiring to be.
You've trained all week with the back line. You've lost your fly half before the game. Then 2 minutes in, you've had to completely reshuffle it. I think only Kieran Williams was originally playing in the position he would have been in. And how you cope with that?
Well, you saw. In relation to it's never perfect. I thought Kieran Williams, I thought Ruben was excellent. I thought Kai Evans was excellent. So from those boys putting their hand up, and that's what we want them to do. We want young players, all players, to put their hand up. And as everyone knows, if you perform well, you play, and it doesn't matter how old you are, what reputation it is, and we want more strength and depth. The one thing you always know about Leinster is how much strength and depth they've got. They proved it tonight.
Kieran Williams keeps doing it in the last month. He's playing the match tonight. Just to sum up his contribution. Yeah,
I think that you're seeing Kieran Williams that I saw my first year here. He's been up against it from a physical point of view, and no player, especially a young player, doesn't know. But to get some rhythm and to get into the games, he's a destructive player, and the modern game requires you to put dents and holes in people, and take defenders off their feet. So he can do that, which is good for us.
Your skipper led in that defensive effort tonight.
Yeah. Not just from a defensive point of view. I think Justin's playing exceptionally well, has done for the last month or so, but he's also led very well. And I thought Adam and Jones led exceptionally well this week, and we're getting a lot of visibility from the people that you expect to be visible, and that's really good, because those young players require guidance, and to have those boys out there and all on the same page is brilliant.
You have the French champions coming here next week. We spoke about the schedule in the week, but a couple more knocks, maybe Ethan Roos and Morgan Morris today. How are you coping, looking into that sort of game?
Yeah, well, obviously, you've got those boys, so we're confident that Owen will be okay, that Webby will be okay, Jack Morgan will be okay. So from that point of view, it's sort of Adam Beard will be fine. So it'll be an in and out job, but you've got to trust the people you've got, and even though that wasn't the team that you saw previously, I thought they've performed really, really well, and that shows you that we're growing our strength in depth, which is really important.
Alex Catterpillar, okay?
Yeah, a bit okay.
Yeah, so you've got that strength of those 4 or 5 boys in there this week. So, thank you.
The display in Montpellier and then again tonight just shows you've got something really going there, and you went after them tonight. You stopped them in their tracks, which is what you've got to do. And but it's really an area of growth. Yeah,
no, for sure. I think 2 things. Firstly, we'd only managed to do it for 65 minutes. We needed it for 80 tonight, and we've done it previously. And the 6-day turnarounds, the energy, the effort. The one thing it tells you, defence is about attitude primarily, and they care, as you said, they care. Well, we just talked about it in there. They care about each other. You can see that. You don't defend like that if you don't care. They care about the Ospreys, they care about each other, and they want to be better, and they want to put down a physical marker, and ultimately, from a defence point of view, that's what makes the difference. And yeah, as we said, the man in the blue hat epitomises that, and he's a person who leads on it for sure.
And the great Osprey sides, if that's the phrase you should use about the old glitterati from it, they used to roll their sleeves up and lick their lips every time there was a scrum, and you're back to that now as well.
Yeah, I mean, we've got, well, I make no apologies for the strength and depth we have in those positions. I come from the English Premiership, which is renowned for being that sort of league, and we always no scrum, no chance, and ultimately you're not always going to get on top, but you have to be in that contest, and having those 4 pops that we are rotating round and keeping fresh and energised is really, really important.
What are you going to do next week? How important is next week?
Yeah, I think it's really important. I think the fact that if you don't back up performances like you saw tonight and that you saw the week before and the week before that, you are you're not being true to what you believe in and what you need to do. And I think that we've got an opportunity to push on and qualify. We spent all of last year trying to qualify for a tournament, so yeah, let's go full bore. Let's go at it and see where it takes us. They've got to do it. It's a bit of a cup final actually, because they're going to have to do the same. Yeah. So we know we're very respectful of who we are, where we are, and what's coming. But as you saw tonight, we can make life difficult if we get it right.
Yeah. Are you a believer in? They don't like to leave their hometown. What's it? The cloche, the bells outside town, or are the French going to come? Are they going to be motivated by what you did to them?
Yeah, I think so. I think, of course, they are. I think that there's something on the line for it. If it's a dead rubber, and I know why you asked the question, because everyone. But if you look actually into the detail of that, often it's the team send people that have either got some domestic priority, or the fact that they've, they're not. Single out the tournament as something that's really important to them. The nature of the tournament is different now. It's a shorter format where you could afford to potentially lose one away. The old adage when it was the 5-team pool thing was win your home games. 4-team was win your home games, one away from home, and you're pretty much there. And it's not like that anymore. So the format means that people's attitudes are different. I don't buy the fact they're the French champions. They are an extremely big, physical, talented side that you don't win the top 14 by accident. So from that point of view, no, we're going to have to be as good again and a bit better.
The great thing is your team seems to be getting excited by the challenges facing them.
Yeah, I think
the next 2 weeks are really there. It's sub-international level, isn't it?
We've talked about that, and to be fair, we've talked about the schedule. We talk about it in a week. The challenge is, we've now had our players with us for a period of time, and as a result, you now see what an Ospreys squad team can do. And the frustrating thing is, it will just get to a point, and then it will disappear again. But look, we need to make hay while the sun's shining. And as I said, you talked about the defence, the attitudinal effort, the energy of the youngsters, the old ones getting energised by the youngsters. Everyone's rolling their sleeves up. And the care element to it means that we're in a good place.
Do you think the Ospreys supporters know what they're seeing here with Alan Wynne-Jones and Justin Tipuric at the moment? Because they were remarkable today.
You'll have to ask them that, Simon.
Well, if you can bring them out, mate, that'd be good.
Well, you spend most of your time online, I'm sure you can. No, I think that, look, special players, special players that, as we've talked about mindset already, we've talked about attitude and bits and pieces, that they care about it too, right?
Yeah.
And you can see it. So there'll be other teams where people get to a certain stage that, in military parlance they call it RDP, rundown protocol. Not with them.
Because it was exactly that, what you're just talking about there, that we saw out there today, where they kind of led and the other guys just kind of came in, didn't they? It was terrific.
Your team reflects its leaders, all of them. On the field, off the field, and that's what we're trying to generate. You're playing against a team that have been doing that for a long period of time. The most powerful thing you've got is strength in depth on power and selection, because you've got to create something that people want to be a part of, and part of that is, and we don't train and do what we do and put our bodies through that to train and train. We train to play and enjoy that contest, and you're seeing a group of people, a group of men that are enjoying that contest.
Are you too far behind to get in the top 8 now, or do you think you can still do it?
No, all the time it's possible. I think there's a lot of parity in this whole competition. I think obviously it depends what happens with the South African boys, obviously through the Six Nations. but on that, you know, we appreciate that it's going to be tough, and you know, we're on the wrong side of some tight results early in the season. Yeah. But you've got to keep picking up every point you can and see where it takes you. What I'm pretty confident about though is if we get in, you know, even away from home, we're not going to be someone that people are going to enjoy potentially to go with, because we've got good fundamentals of the game, defence, set piece. So we'll see if we can get muscle our way in.
Great.